Walk into any bank. They'll ask for ID, tax records, proof of income. Now walk into Vatican City. 110 acres. Population 800. GDP unknown. Assets classified. Tax status exempt. They answer to no government. No regulator can audit them. No court can touch them. This is the only country on earth that's also a corporation, also a religion, also a bank. And nobody knows what it's worth. The question isn't how did they get rich. The question is, how did they make everyone stop asking? Most businesses sell products. The Vatican sells something else, certainty about what happens after you die. Think about the market for that. 7 billion people. Everyone terrified of death. You can't test the product before you buy. You can't return it if it doesn't work. You can't read verified reviews. It's the perfect business model. And it's been running for 2,000 years. But the genius isn't the product. The genius is the payment structure. Medieval Europe creates the first recurring revenue system in history. The tithe. 10% of everything. Forever. No cancellation option. Farmers pay in grain. Craftsmen pay in goods. Even beggars pay. It's automatic. It's mandatory. It's backed by the threat of eternal punishment. Imagine if Netflix could tell you, skip your payment, burn in hell forever. That's the business model. And it compounds. Millions of people paying 10% annually for 1,000 years creates something bigger than wealth. It creates infrastructure. By 1000 AD, the church isn't just collecting money. It owns the land the money comes from. 1/3 of Europe's productive assets. Forests, farms, mills, rivers. This isn't a religion with property. This is a property empire with a religion attached. But subscription revenue has limits. You can only take 10% of nothing so many times before you need a new product. So the church invents premium features. They call them indulgences. Standard plan. Follow the rules, go to heaven eventually. Premium plan. Pay extra, skip purgatory, get express access. The pricing is psychological genius. Rich people pay more. Poor people pay what they can. Everyone pays something. It's not charity. It's not a donation. It's a transaction. Itemized. Quantified. Murder costs more than theft. Adultery has a fixed price. They turn sin into a pricing sheet. And it works. Because the product is invisible. You can't prove it doesn't work. So nobody can prove you're being scammed. The revenue explodes. And with that money, they don't build churches. They build armies. 1096 the Crusades begin. Everyone remembers them as religious wars. But look at the cash flow. Armies need funding. The church creates war bonds. Buy an indulgence, fund a crusade, earn salvation credits. Can't fight? Pay someone else to fight for you. When crusader armies sack cities, the gold flows back to Rome. It's not just spiritual conquest. It's asset acquisition masked as holy war. By the time it ends, the Vatican has military power rivaling any kingdom. Spiritual authority. Financial capital. Political leverage. Meanwhile, village priests preach about the sin of greed. The system runs on contradiction. Tell people wealth is sinful. Then collect their wealth. Then use it to build golden palaces. That's not hypocrisy. That's strategy. By the 1500s, the Vatican stops pretending. Popes live like emperors. They host orgies. They commission art. They wage wars. Alexander VI has children with multiple women while being pope. Leo X throws banquets that cost more than most kingdoms' annual budgets. They need money for a new project, Rebuild St. Peter's. Not repair. Rebuild. Bigger. Grander. More expensive than anything in history. So they scale the indulgence operation. Salesmen tour Europe with quotas. Performance targets. Commission structures. One preacher, Johann Tetzel, creates the pitch that will destroy everything. Coin in the box, soul set free. It's brilliant marketing. It's also too obvious. Peasants drain their savings to buy pieces of paper. Meanwhile, the popes fund art collections while people starve. The inequality becomes impossible to ignore. And then someone notices. 1517. A monk sees the indulgence salesman. Martin Luther watches poor families buy worthless certificates. He doesn't start a revolution. He writes a complaint list. 95 items. He posts it publicly. His core argument: you can't buy salvation. The message spreads faster than the church can suppress it. Because everyone already knew. They just needed someone to say it out loud. Within decades, half of Europe leaves. The Reformation doesn't happen because Luther had better theology. It happens because the business model became too visible. The irony is perfect. The money used to build the greatest church in Christianity destroys Christianity's unity. The indulgences that funded glory created the revolt. By 1600, the Vatican still has wealth. But it lost something more valuable: unquestioned authority. 1870, Italy unifies. They seize the Papal States. All the land. All the rents. All the armies. The Vatican shrinks to 110 acres. Everyone assumes it's over. They're wrong. Because here's what most people miss. Losing physical territory forced the Vatican to modernize. 1929, Mussolini needs legitimacy. He signs the Lateran Treaty. The Vatican gets tiny sovereignty. But massive compensation. 750 million lire cash. 1 billion in bonds. It's billions in modern money. A dictator bails out a church. And the Vatican takes that windfall and builds something new. The Institute for Religious Works. On paper, charity management. In reality, an untouchable bank. No audits. No oversight. Total secrecy. The Vatican Bank operates in shadows. Cold War. It funds anti-communist groups worldwide. 1980s. It's connected to the Banco Ambrosiano collapse. Billions vanish. Roberto Calvi, God's banker, ends up dead under a London bridge. Pockets filled with bricks. Ruled murder. Investigations link the bank to mafia money laundering, intelligence operations, political corruption. But nothing sticks. Scandals break. Headlines scream. Then silence. Because the Vatican learned the most important lesson. Physical empires fall. Financial empires adapt. Today, nobody knows the true wealth. Art collections worth billions. Land across continents. Investments hidden in shell structures. Official budgets claim modesty. But that's the point. Visibility is the enemy of power. Here's what matters. The Vatican isn't unique. It's the template. Every system that asks for your faith while building wealth follows the same pattern. Create a product you can't verify. Make the payment automatic and recurring. Threaten consequences for non-payment. Use the revenue to build power. When the power becomes visible, create new structures that hide it. Look around today. Governments promise stability while debasing currency. Tech companies promise privacy while selling your data. Banks promise security while gambling with deposits. Financial advisors promise returns while charging fees that guarantee you lose. The formula never changes. The powerful don't need to hide their wealth. They just need to hide how they got it. And they need you to keep paying. So when someone tells you to trust the system, Ask, what am I buying that I can't verify? Who profits from my belief? What happens if I stop paying? Because the oldest game in human history is still running. And if you can't see it, you're probably funding it.